Now, Fulnir, Manifesta, and Nato actually escaped from the city state, which means they actually made it outside, which they actually have made it through the escape. However, they actually have long ways to go before they actually get to see what the outside world looks like, which they actually seen that is really big. But now, as promised, Nidha actually going to reveal how they're going to turn Manifesta back into a human girl, which she actually has spent a lot of times in the library and also being Manifesta's maid, which she actually revealed what she knows about turning witches back into humans, which we actually seen Netha actually pickpocket the lock from the library, and then she actually reads something that relates to witches. It's actually a note how to turn them back to normal, which actually is in the handwriting of a former witch herself, which a retired witch in the kingdom, actually in the country of Null, which means that upon receiving the letter, we actually saw that witches are generally executed after a certain time in a certain matter, which we actually seen would actually let them to two major possibilities, which is either one, the seed of evil that she actually bears will either actually stop growing and completely she will recover, or two, which is the growth will actually slow down gradually, and that's actually a good reason. But we actually knew how a retired witch actually survived long enough for her to turn back to normal, which we actually seen what they're going to do, in which she actually found several patches, several areas in other books that actually can turn back one of them, which means they headed towards Nor, which they actually going to turn Manifesta back into a human girl, which we actually seen Rector actually hired new guardian and a new witch to track down Fulnir and Manifesta, which they are actually the new witches and guardian of City State of Steel, which they actually hired the two of them to actually track them down. Which we seen a guardian by the name of Jin Odor and the witch Ruli Liwala, and then they actually knew that Jin was actually pretty rude of Rector, while Ruli actually apologized for his behavior, which means that we saw Jin reveal his power, and then we saw how he actually used it as well. Normally, we actually saw how he actually using his powers, but he actually using metal magic to actually see how powerful it actually is. So we actually knew that Ruli actually told Jin not to do that again because he actually needs to learn the proper rules and manners of being a guardian, which she actually revealed how to kill the witch with Jin, which he doesn't actually know anything, but we actually knew what they're actually going to go up against when they actually face Fulnir and Manifesta, which they actually headed over where they going to, which Manifesta actually fighting an evil, which hiding as a rock, which they actually never knew how they're going to get over to the new place, which they actually made it to the first village, which they have long ways to go to get to Nor, which is far north, which they actually had to go past through 7 village to get to Nor, which the only way they actually had to go there. So they actually had 6 more village to go to, and with that, they actually had to put on their disguises as well. And so we actually seen what they can do when they actually head over towards the first village. Meanwhile, we saw Jin and Ruli actually headed towards them as well, which they actually on their tail as soon as possible. Now we actually know how they're going to turn Metafesta back into a human girl, while knowing that the new Witch and Guardian Jin and Ruli are actually pursuing them as well. So we're going to see what's going to happen to them on the next chapter next weekend. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this anime guy joining you saying signing out. Laters!